But I mean, when you turn on Lumen and Nanite, I mean this environment in particular, you actually it's indistinguishable from reality.
It's already pretty good, even as it stands. I
Exactly.
love like just simple little things like the shine of the tarmac and the road, the slight movement of the trees and their shadows on the ground, the falling leaves. You know, in the sense of this kind of autumnal feel that we've got going on here. But of course, you can see the live shadows coming from our avatars here. It's simple tricks like these that make you feel much more present in the environment. But of course, you can change the position of the sun and the colouring of the sun to give yourself a midday feel or a late day, end of day feel, or for seasonal stuff like autumnal. This is definitely autumnal light that's been gone for here. I noticed that you have some really nice reflective surfaces as well, like water. Can we have a look at that?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's go take a look.
No milk today.
Nope.
Nope. I mean, that is just stunning watching, being able to see the reflections of the nearby trees and the water and the wind ruffling the surface and so forth. It's again, these kind of, I suppose what some might think are unnecessary levels of detail, but it makes it feel real. And if you were, looking to, I don't know, for real estate, purchases or that kind of thing, you want it to feel real. You want it to look exactly as it would look in reality. And again, what we were talking about earlier on with the ability to upload models or even whether it be a show home where you're building it in this environment or whether you're actually uploading a pre-existing home, it would just give people a real sense of presence. And of course, the statistics are really interesting for this, particularly for real estate, that actually visiting somewhere in a virtual reality environment increases the likelihood of them visiting it in a real environment, of going on to actually go and physically visit it. Because I think this was something that the real estate agents were always a little bit jumpy about. Initially was, well, the sales happen when you physically go to the house, right? But so what if people just go virtually? Then they're not going to buy anything. But I think it was Matterport originally that would do 360 walkthroughs of houses, and they discovered that it increased the footfall, the physical footfall, and ultimately increased the propensity or the likelihood of people to place a bid on the house. So it's interesting. We've yet to get to the bottom of why that is. My theory is that your mind just goes, well, I've been here, so it kind of does all the little tiny things and decisions and so forth between you visiting and virtual reality to make it happen in real reality. I'm not entirely sure beyond that. Or maybe it's a confidence thing where you go, that looks really nice. I really get a sense of it, rather than looking at what is quite obviously a fisheye lensed image of a bedroom that looks big, but you're like, yeah, they've just been playing with this to make it look bigger than it really is. Whereas if you walk through it in virtual reality, there's no fooling that. It's going to look like it looks. It's laid out according to the floor plan, so you'll get more confidence that this is the size that these rooms are really going to be.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
Can we go inside one?
we can, but here I would actually, yeah, let's go inside and then I'll show you the backyard. The backyard also has some pretty cool reflections and things that you can see that really show off the quality. But yeah, let's walk inside.
Awesome. Very nice.
Yeah.
Like the mildly Art Deco doorway. It's awaiting furnishing, which one might expect.
That's right.
One of your fridges on the.
That's right. Yeah, one of those fridges, and there's a couple of other things that these houses will get filled out with mostly with customer models. Actually, customers that are looking to that sell like household goods, that kind of thing. But anyways, yeah, let's we can go check out some of the rooms, and then we can go into the backyard.
Quite a large house, quite a large floor plan. I mean, this would give me confidence that I was moving into a big place.
Oh yeah.
And also having the ability to potentially custom furnish it, not only in terms of what would it look like, but potentially, to guide the movers to make sure that the right stuff goes in the right places.
Oh yeah.
Here's an interesting thing. Audio can be quite important in these environments. Now, a lot of the ground here is, laminate floor or wood floor, so you would expect to be able to hear our footfalls in the way that we are hearing them. But the room through there seems to have a plush carpet. Oh no, wait a minute, that was tiles. Is that something that you can affect? Is the sound of your footsteps and different surfaces?
We absolutely can. We have not done that with this environment, but you can. We can do that. So, but
interesting. Clearly been raining recently.
That's right. So you can see in here, this water even has a different kind of reflection because it's in the shadow, so you can really see. Yeah, it's really wild.
Really. Is there water in this paddling pool? There is. You're gonna get your virtual brogues wet.
That's okay. That's okay. I need to.
You need to clean them off anyway.
That's right.
Awesome. I see that there's a doghouse over here as well.
That's right. Of course, I don't see a dog anywhere.
No, I think the dog is in somewhere else in the neighborhood.
No flowers. Hey, cool.
Awesome.
Hey, cool.
So, David, what else do we want to? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm trying to remember what other questions I was going to ask you when we were in the shopping mall. Let's see. We covered dynamic audio. We covered light sourcing. We covered uploading of models. Interactivity with models. Potentially. Cross-platform compatibility with web-based augmented reality. Now, what else was there? We covered audio, but we might miss that at this stage. Apart from dynamic audio for voices, so we covered that. Oh yes, participation of multiple individuals. So perhaps we could walk back into the house or go upstairs in the house, and we could talk about that, because one of the things which is, and I'll reiterate this when it's a bungalow, isn't it? There is no upstairs. One of the things which is a big thing which you don't get with the likes of Matterport is multi-participant. So if you're looking at a house, for instance, for you and your partner, you want to be able to go in there and see it with them, right, from maybe different computers, and you want your realtor to be able to guide you around, and again, you can't do that in the likes of Matterport. So having somebody who can actually show you around, point things out, etc. Is there avatar functionality in here to point at things?
There absolutely is.
Fantastic, right? That's what we need to do. Excellent.
So
is this the only house?
Go ahead.
Is this the only house that you can go inside, or are there other ones that you can go inside that have a different internal appearance, or other rooms that we haven't gone into yet?
Yeah, so actually every single house on this block, you can go inside and check it out. However, this is the only house that we have baked lighting. So this is the only house that's lit. So the other ones you can go inside, but they're dark. The power's off.
Right. Well, I would worry about the whole zombie thing again. So let's stick to the lit house. I feel uncomfortable in a dark house.
That's right. That's right.
I've been watching Last of Us recently, and it's clearly left an impression. Okay, let's go back in, and then we'll get you pointing at something, and then I'll talk about multi-participant functionality. We could talk about how many people you can conceivably get in a space. Well,
Getting really windy.
here we are. That's a nice room. This is a good choice. I like this room.
So now,
Okay.
David, if you look right over here, you can see this is a
Oh,
perfect
yes.
place to create a both a baby room and a music room.
I see that. So we have a changing station here. We have a crib, a little potted plant over here. I like the fact that you can point. Now this is something which I think is really important, particularly for real estate. But you know, in any given situation, is the ability for people to interact with each other, to
Absolutely.
be able to shop with each other, the social experience where you can point things out as you just did, and where you can. Have conversations about things. For instance, if you were making a choice of a home that you wanted to go to be able to actually speak to your wife or your family about it and go in there, or to be able to be guided around by your realtor, for that realtor to be able to point out specific assets within there makes a huge difference. What we've seen previously with online web-based systems, which are just 360 photos effectively strung together, is that it's a very much an individual experience. You don't get a guided tour as such.
Right.
You can't ask questions, you can't have things explained to you, you can't have things pointed out, and that's a real loss. But even in those environments, like I was saying earlier, they are likely to increase physical footfall, they are likely to increase physical sales. But if you add that all-important physical interpersonal interaction, it can make a huge difference. How many people could you get in a space like this at the same time? How many avatars like these?
Yeah, so it really just depends on what the goal is, right? So we can get about 100 avatars per space like this so that we can see each other, about 100. And I think we can get essentially an unlimited number of avatars experiencing the same experience. But let's just say for something like this, yeah, maybe 100. But I'm thinking a house like this, you probably only want maybe 20 to 25 in a house before it gets a bit crowded. But the whole neighborhood, if you had like 100 people walking around the neighborhood, that would be a pretty decent show and tell for, let's say, like a real estate developer that's putting in a new neighborhood. They can show off what the neighborhood would look like once the trees are mature and all the houses are built and all of those things. That could be pretty interesting.
Absolutely, and the fact that it could allow for free interaction between people, because you get that at real viewings where viewers who have never met each other will have conversations and discuss things, and have you seen this over here? That kind of natural interaction leads to, again, a greater degree of confidence, and
That's
this
right.
kind of social ability to collectively notice things, point things out, share things with each other, which, in a sense, people can have more confidence to share that than they might in the real world as well. So, okay, that's very encouraging. That's a lot of people as well. Normally, in a lot of other web-based, certainly virtual reality environments, if you want free interaction between avatars, you're looking at it topping out at between 25 people or maybe 40 people. So 100 is actually considerably higher. If you were at, let's say, a concert or something like that, or a live show, where you're sitting down in an audience, usually you just have it that you can have avatars, but they can't all speak to each other, and then there's no limit at all. So I would imagine you probably do the same in this setting.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'd have, we would just create multiple instances of for the avatars, all consuming the same content, like a concert or a show or a keynote or something like that. And if it's if it's like a business event where people actually do want to interact with more than just 100 people, then we implement like a matchmaking type of system so that they can find people that are at the same event but not necessarily in the same instance, if that makes sense.